Hey y'all, what's up? It's Megan and welcome back. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing another comparison video between Jo Malone's Velvet Rose and Oud and also Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Oud Satin Mood. And yes, I have another sample. It's ghetto, but just go with it. Just go with it. But yes, I do still have the same samples from that set, and it included Satin Mood. So if that sounds interesting to you, then definitely keep it right here. I've been having both of these fragrances for a minute, and this is limited edition packaging. The normal Velvet Rose and Oud will come in an all black bottle. So just kind of ignore this. It's the same fragrance, just a different bottle. I just had to get this limited edition packaging that came out last year, and I just think that it's so cute. I wish that they would revert to using this type of packaging, but it's okay. It's all the same thing. Not a big deal. I've been having these fragrances for a minute, and the other day I sprayed them and I'm like, these smell really similar, and I can't believe no one's really talking about like how similar they are, or maybe they are and I just haven't seen it. So I don't know. So I really do think if you don't want to shell out the big bucks for Oud Satin Mood, I really think that you could get by on this one. Just to start off, like obviously they both have oud in it, and oud is a very strong woodsy scent, and I get it in here and also in Oud Satin Mood. Now just to start off, the oud is way stronger on here, but let's go ahead and get to the notes just so that we could kind of compare. So per the Jo Malone website, Oud Satin Mood, it's description, it's not in a list. It says the darkest damask rose, rich and textural, wrapped with smoky oud wood, spiked with clove, decadent with praline, magnetic. So I'm assuming these are the only notes. So pretty much oud, damask rose, clove, and praline. So pretty simple, but it smells pretty complex in my opinion. Let's go ahead and go to the notes for Oud Satin Mood. The Neiman Marcus website, just because I was already there, it says the olfactory family is that this fragrance is an ambery woody floral, and the key notes are violet accord, Damaskina, I'm pretty sure it's Damaskina, rose essence from Bulgaria, rose absolute from Turkey, natural oud from Laos, benzoin from Siam, amber, and vanilla accord. So there are some similarities in the fragrance. They both have that damask rose and obviously oud. You know a fragrance is going to be expensive when they tell you what country each note and each ingredient is from. Pretty much every note here for Oud Satin Mood is from a certain country, so that's why it's so expensive. We see the similarities through the notes, so let's go ahead and do a spray. Well, since I have Oud Satin Mood in my hand, let's go ahead and spray here. I'm gonna do it on my hand because I used my wrist in the other video. I get a lot of that oud coming through, as it should, because it's Oud Satin Mood. I do get a little bit of that rose slowly coming through, but I mainly smell oud when I first spray it, and it's really nice. And this is a very strong fragrance, you guys, so if you like something with a lot of power and a lot of sillage, you're definitely gonna get it with Oud Satin Mood, because it is very strong. It's almost strong to where like if you spray too much, you're gonna get like, it's gonna give you a headache and you're gonna get sick of it. So be careful. I'm sure people that own this might be able to tell you the same thing, but some people may love that about it. Really complex. I love it. Settling into the skin really nicely. So while that dries down, let's go ahead and spray Jo Malone. Love the way that sprays. I don't know, I'm just having a thing about how the fragrances spray out. Now the differences to me, I do get a little oud coming out from Velvet Rose and Oud, but on the contrary, I do feel like Velvet Rose and Oud, you get a lot more rose in the opening for sure. And I do feel like Velvet Rose and Oud is a lot sweeter. It's not as harsh. And when I say Oud Satin Mood is harsh, I don't mean it in a bad way. It just has a very bold opening, and it has a lot of intensity, because it will smack you in the face when you first spray it, especially if it's for your first time. But I feel like Velvet Rose and Oud, it's a lot smoother and it's gentle, but it still has a lot of strength in it. It's not as strong as Oud Satin Mood, but I think it has a decent amount of sillage where others may be able to smell it. I get a lot of rose coming through. As it's drying down, I do feel like that oud is kind of coming through a little bit more. And I do feel like I smell a little bit of that clove as well, surprisingly, because oud could be very, very overpowering. It smells really, really lovely and smooth. I mean, for these prices, I mean, it better be smooth, right? I just love it. I just love it. I just want to spray it on myself right now. That's how much I love it. But yes, drying down very nicely. See, it's like, whew, I can smell Oud Satin move from this far out. On the dry down, that oud really still stays pretty prominent. So if you like a more woody type of a scent, Oud Satin mood is the way to go. And Oud Satin mood is definitely a lot more masculine. So if you're not into masculine fragrances, girls, do not get this one, or at least try it out first. And as it dries down, that vanilla is also coming through a little bit more. Really, really developing nicely and drying down well on the skin. Now, Oud Satin mood and a lot of Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrances, they leave like the sheen. That's from the oil. I feel like Oud Satin mood does it a little bit more than Baccarat Rouge, but they still leave a little depending on how much you spray. So also keep that in mind. I do feel like I see a little sheen from Velvet Rose and Oud as well. But of course, these are probably made with a lot of more fragrance oils than normal fragrances. And now that Velvet Rose and Oud has dried down a lot more, it becomes much more subtle and not really overpowering at all. And I think it's really nice. It's not really doing too much, and I do kind of feel like I'm smelling a little bit more sweetness, and that is probably coming from that praline, which I didn't even know was in this fragrance. So you're definitely getting a layering of that rose with a hint of oud and a little bit of sweetness from that praline. And Oud Satin mood, again, even though you smell mostly oud out of this, if you stay with it long enough, you definitely will get those other scents coming through as you smell it. So I really love this one as well. So these two fragrances, although they smell the same, they might kind of be for two different people, unless you're a fragrance lover like me, of course. I would say that the Velvet Rose and Oud, although it does have that woodsy element from the oud in there, I do feel like it's much more feminine. I wouldn't say still that it's for everybody, because it does have those masculine elements coming through, but I still think it would be really worth it to go to a Sephora or whatever department store to smell it out, see if this is something you can get to like if you're not into masculine fragrances. I really think that it's not doing too much at all. It stays with you nicely, and it kind of does stay close to the body. The projection isn't the best, but I feel like, you know, the sillage may still be there depending on if you spray it on your skin or your clothes. I feel like if you spray it on your clothes, you will definitely get a lot more sillage. And of course, if you put lotion before you spray as well. So really, really good. And I don't really have to tell you guys, you probably would already know, you're definitely going to get a lot of projection with Oud Satin mood. And if you sprayed this on your clothes, like I sprayed this on my clothes before, and I mean, I still smelled it after I washed my clothes. So I would say lasting power, Oud Satin mood wins a little bit, but I will say I still could smell it on my clothes sometimes with Velvet Rose and Oud. It doesn't stay after a wash, but I do think the lasting power is pretty decent for the price. Before I forget to mention, this is considered an intense fragrance. So if you're used to buying Jo Malone fragrances, these are marketed to be a little bit stronger. They probably have a higher concentration of oil in each one of the black fragrances, I like to call them. Keep that in mind. And this also is regarded as a cologne. I should correct myself. It says it on the bottle as well. It's a cologne intense. Price on Sephora, I mean, with stuff like this, you could probably shop around. The prices will probably be different everywhere you go, but since that's where I got it, I'll just go for it. So Velvet Rose and Oud is $145 for this. What size is this? This is a 1.7 ounce bottle. You probably have this for a while because you really do not need to spray all that much. And I forgot to say, like, if you want to wear this in like an office setting, I think you would probably be okay. I do not recommend wearing Oud Satin mood at an office at all. If you sit really close to people, it might be too much for them. And on Neiman Marcus, the price for Oud Satin mood is $300 for a 2.4 ounce bottle. So it all depends on what you want to pay for, but I would say that depending on what you like, my personal favorite, I like Velvet Rose and Oud a lot better. I totally lost my cap, so I will just be showing it like this. This is the fragrance that I would go for. Now, Oud Satin Mood, if you want to invest in it, I think it's really nice. It's going to be more woodsy, going to have more lasting power, and it's going to be more masculine as well. And you're also going to get a lot of sillage from it too, and it really projects. So if you don't mind spending a little bit more, you definitely will get a lot more bang for your buck, if you will. But I do think that this will get you where you want to be if you like ouds. Although I really do love both of them, my winner is Velvet Rose and Oud by Jo Malone. I think it's really, really great. If you're a person like me that doesn't care about what time of day you wear your fragrances, then I don't think that it would be too bad to wear in the daytime. But obviously, since it has oud, this is more for nighttime, I would say. But y'all know I always say that I'm gonna wear it whenever, however. That's pretty much my comparison on these two fragrances. If you made it to this point, I just want to make a mention that always test out these fragrances first. I do not recommend buying these, especially if you do not like masculine fragrances. If you love rose, then go out and smell these first if you can. Now, I do believe Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrances are like at Nordstrom and Neiman Marcus and everything, so it's a little bit more accessible than other niche fragrances. So go try these out. Do not buy these because of me, because I'm hyping them up and I say I love them both, because you might not. You might absolutely hate them, and I don't want you spending your hard-earned money on something you hate and you can't return it. So give it a try first. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have for this comparison video. Of course, give me a like and subscribe, because that also lets me know that you are loving this content, and it also puts me into the YouTube algorithm for other people that may not know I exist. It lets them know that I exist. So that would be a big help. I still love you for making it this far anyway, and I appreciate it always. And with that, I always want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.